Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real crime stories told like never before. This story is chilling, true, and almost too dark to believe. So stick around till the end. It was Christmas Eve, 2007. The Anderson family was getting ready to celebrate together in a quiet home in Carnation, Washington. Wayne and Judy Anderson, both in their early 60s, were expecting a peaceful night. Their son, Scott, was coming over with his wife, Erica, and their two little kids, Olivia, age 5, and Nathan, just 3 years old. The family had done this before. They would open presents, eat, laugh, and enjoy the holiday. But this night would be different. Behind the smiles and plans, someone had made a deadly decision. Michelle Anderson, Wayne and Judy's daughter, was angry. She believed her family had turned against her. She felt they didn't respect her, and she thought her brother Scott owed her money. That anger had been growing for a long time. Michelle wasn't alone. Her boyfriend, Joseph McEnroe, was just as involved. Together, they made a plan. Not to argue, not to walk away, but to kill. They showed up early at Wayne and Judy's home. No one was suspicious. They were family. They were let in without question. Wayne and Judy Anderson were relaxing in their home that Christmas Eve when Michelle and Joseph arrived. There was no fight, no screaming, nothing to warn what was coming. This was family. They let them in without a second thought. Then Joseph pulled out a gun. He shot Wayne first. The bullet hit him, but it didn't kill him right away. He was hurt and confused, not understanding what was happening. Judy screamed. In the chaos, Joseph turned the gun on her. He shot her too, but both of them were still alive. So Joseph did something worse. He got close. He made sure they couldn't get back up. And then he and Michelle dragged their bodies out of sight. They cleaned up the blood, hid the mess. All because more family was on the way. Michelle's brother Scott and his wife Erica were expected soon, with their kids. The couple had no idea what had just happened inside the house. They thought they were just showing up for Christmas dinner, maybe bringing presents, maybe excited to see Grandma and Grandpa, but Michelle and Joseph were already waiting for them, with loaded guns and no mercy. Scott Anderson, his wife Erica, and their two kids, 5-year-old Olivia and 3-year-old Nathan, arrived at the house like any normal family on Christmas Eve. Maybe the kids were laughing. Maybe they had wrapped presents in their hands. But none of them had a clue that the people waiting inside had already killed Scott's parents. The door opened. They stepped inside. Then the horror started again. Joseph McEnroe aimed his gun at Scott and pulled the trigger. Scott was shot and went down fast. But he didn't die right away. He was wounded, confused, just like their father had been. Erica saw it happen and panicked. She grabbed a phone to call 911. She tried to save her family, but Michelle ran toward her. She stopped her before she could finish the call. Then Joseph shot Erica too. The call had started, but didn't go through. Now the only ones left alive in the room were the two children, Olivia and Nathan. They were crying, scared. They didn't understand why Mommy and Daddy were on the floor, but Michelle and Joseph didn't stop. First Olivia was shot, then Nathan. Just like that, 6 members of the Anderson family were gone, killed by their own daughter, by their own sister, and the killers didn't even leave right away. They stayed in the house with the bodies, as if nothing had happened. For 2 days after the murders, Michelle Anderson and Joseph McEnroe stayed near the crime scene. They didn't run. They didn't hide far away. They stayed on the property, acting like nothing had happened. 6 people, including 2 small children, were dead. Their bodies were inside the house. And still, the killers waited. It wasn't until 2 days later, on December 26th, that police came to check on the family. Scott hadn't shown up for work. No one had heard from anyone in the house. That's when officers arrived and found something that no one should ever have to see. The scene inside the Anderson home was horrifying. Blood, bodies, silence. Police quickly knew this wasn't an accident. It was a massacre. Soon after, Michelle and Joseph were arrested. At first, it wasn't clear why they did it, but then Michelle started to talk. She confessed. She told police that she felt disrespected by her family, that they didn't care about her, that Scott owed her money and didn't pay. Her anger had been building for years, and finally, she decided to take revenge. Joseph confessed, too. He said he killed to protect Michelle. He said he loved her. That was his reason. But there's no love in murder. And the truth shocked even the detectives who had seen it all. After their arrest, both Michelle Anderson and Joseph McEnroe were charged with 6 counts of aggravated first-degree murder. The court called it what it was: cold-blooded and calculated. Prosecutors described the killings as execution style. No one was spared, not even the children. Joseph McEnroe went on trial first. In 2015, he was found guilty on all counts. The jury had no doubt. He admitted to shooting everyone, including the kids. He showed emotion during trial, even cried, but it didn't change the facts. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. Michelle's trial followed in 2016. At one point, she said she felt like a monster. She admitted to everything, but that didn't bring back her parents, or her brother, or her niece and nephew. She too received life without parole. No one from the Anderson family survived that night. 6 lives were wiped out in a matter of minutes by someone they loved and trusted. The community was left shocked. It wasn't just the murders, it was the reason. Over money, over resentment, over feelings that built up over time and turned deadly. Even now, years later, the Carnation murders are remembered as one of the darkest crimes in Washington state history. If you found this story hard to believe, you're not alone. Real life can be darker than fiction. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime breakdowns. And remember, not all monsters hide in the dark. Some sit with you at the dinner table.